Welcome. The dark side of people pleasing, that is fawning or fawn trauma response. So people pleasing might not be so bad. After all, what's wrong with trying to help people out as well as making them happy? There is nothing wrong with it if it does not affect your life. But for those of us that are inflicted as chronic people pleasing, it generally goes beyond simple kindness and generosity. So many times over my life, I'd find myself doing things that I didn't want to do for people I didn't even like, protecting and advocating for people who hadn't even asked me, and holding my tongue and keeping quiet for those who did not deserve it for many, many times in my life. So I'm Bernie Giggins, Soul Freedom Coach from Inner Child Harmony Coaching. So after years of being an irritating, debilitating disability from my point of view, I had learnt about this fawn trauma response, which made so much sense in my life as to why I behaved the way I did. So fawning or fawn trauma response developed to attempt to avoid or mitigate further trauma. It tends to result in codependency, entrapment in toxic or abusive relationships, and emotional withdrawal later on in life. It involves editing and altering your words and behaviors for the sake of another person or persons, their feelings or reactions, and not have the power to say no. It goes against your internal values, your intuition and your instincts, and over time you become a chronic people pleaser or live in that fawn trauma response mode. In other words, you have started to turn down the dial of the natural instinctive warning signs, the red flags, and turning into a submissive, pleasing and appeasing person. Now, our primitive brain can habitually react when we don't feel safe saying no and live in fear of really being true to ourselves by this fawning. Yes, fawning. You see, there's fight, flight, freeze, trauma responses, and the least known but most addictive is the fawn trauma response. At some time in your childhood, you took on a belief that you had to please your parent or caregiver in order to be valued, loved, accepted, and sometimes just to survive. You keep living it out automatically, unconsciously, robotically, on repeat. I have to please my boss to be valued, liked, or loved. I have to please my boss to be valued, liked, or loved, without realizing, the damage that it's doing to you. So no matter whether your childhood was nice or a nightmare, you grew up with unmet needs that compromise your potential. By identifying this fawn trauma response part and seeking treatment, taming it, changing it, the effects, then you can create more opportunities for a happier, healthier relationships and more balanced life now and in the future. Just as I have done, I'll be sharing all of these ways that has enhanced my life since doing this. So fawning, aka chronic people pleasing, is already connected to the peacemaker and the helper roles, and has dysfunctional security guards of the self-sabotage, self-destruction, and self-sacrificing. So that if you ever try to change this habitual pattern, these three come in and already take control to pull you back to be in that people pleaser. It's as controlling as any other addiction and has the same serotonin induced brain chemicals, keeping you hooked to stay in this dysfunctional way of living and giving. This is how fawning people pleasers can cause trouble. This urge that they have to please others can be damaging to our own self and potentially to the relationships that we are with. The costs of living this dark, people-pleasing, fawning part, we are exposed and susceptible of being scammed by time, love, and money, by family, friends, and strangers. We have no self-esteem or little self-esteem, self-love and self-worth, or even healthy boundaries. We are stuck in careers that fatigue and deplete us, and we cannot give in or give up for the sake of our health and life. Your life becomes on hold. You are hatching and raising cuckoo chicks, meaning that the cuckoo bird pushes out other birds' eggs and lay their own eggs there for that bird to hatch and raise. So same as the fawning people pleasers, hatching and raising other people's ideas, dreams, desires and life, while yours is on hold, pushed aside or put to sleep with no confidence or courage to stop this way of life. And that really hurts. You automatically go and do things for people based on what you assume they want and need. You give up your time and energy to others to like you. It might be looking for acceptance, approval, or needing to be needed. Most time this was an unconscious decision, but you cannot remember making it, but it always stems from childhood. Life is one-sided, giving away to others while there is resentment and frustration within you. You live a martyr's life, while friends and family are frustrated with you for not being able to stand up for yourself and say no. An area or several areas of your life are affected. It could be health, financial, relationship, career issues are all related to this fawn trauma response connection. It is dis-ease within your life and your outer world is reflecting it back to you. And you allow other people's needs and wants to be more important than your own needs. Living with fear and guilt and shame is why you can't say no and mean it. You find it hard to receive from others, even if they were generous to you. Self-starvation is another dysfunctional role of the fawn response, and you will self-sacrifice in order to overgive. You assume responsibility for so many others who then rely on you, and you are trapped in a cycle of fear, guilt and shame of giving again. You become a target for narcissistic bullying personalities and become trapped in those toxic relationships longer than necessary. These can be love, family, career or community relationships. You become filled with regrets, sadness, disappointments, grief, suffering and pain from self and others. This is the dark side of the people-pleasing fawn, and I'm here to tell you that it does get better, that it's never too late to change this. You are then, in the wrong side, you are being drained, depleted, living an unfulfilled life, being the life host in relationships while other people are feeding off you and living off you like energy vampires. Fawning is actually killing you, your soul, your spirit, and your will to live in truth, love, and freedom. So I'm here to tell you that it's never too late to change. I did, and now sharing my Phoenix Rising journey to self-freedom with you. For more information on the recovery process that I have travelled, please register your interest in the next program, which is SOS, Healing the Dark Side of People Pleasing. So my own recovery journey is the basis of this course, and the lessons are what I really wish I had learned and had access to years ago, and often think, where would I be today if I had the chance to break free way back then? So this is my gift to share with the world, to share with them what they need and how they need it from that day forward. So join me in a webinar coming up before the program starts. Again, register your interest by clicking underneath or sending an email to me, and all the links are underneath there. So I'd like to sign off with, I'm Bernadette Giggins, and I am a recovering fawn people pleaser addict, and I'm always in love and service to you, and I'd really love to see you on this webinar and this course that is coming up very soon. Thank you very much for here, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.